days Ruben on the road, Ruben makes a stop in Canyon and visits a local honey farm and learns what makes them thrive in the Texas Panhandle.
But about 5 years ago, we opened up Creek House Honey Farm. And with that honey, we wanted to utilize a lot of that honey. And it's not just for selling honey or in skincare, but also to make mead. Mead is fermented honey or honey wine. And so about 5 years ago, I started experimenting with making mead. And now we do that. We probably produce about 100 gallons a month of that. We'd like to, with our expansion we're going to do, increase that several times fold.
You can expect to come to the restaurant and eat food that's honey-based. Like, for example, we have honey melt. We make all of our dressings. We make our honey mustard. We make our poppy seed. We like to be fresh, and we like to be unique, and we like to stick with a theme. So our skincare started out, I started to make lip balm and lotion, and then we started to realize really quickly that the propolis that we were using and the beeswax were healants. So people that have dermatitis issues like eczema or psoriasis, it was actually healing their skin. And so that's where the skincare kind of blew up, because just word of mouth spread quickly on how effective it was for people. So now we sell here at the farm, but we also sell to about 100 different retail stores. And we're trying to, we go to market in January, and we're building a production facility to help with that growth.
I grew up in Canyon. We sit on some land that my grandparents owned that was passed out on my parents and then to Paige and me. So we have the land and then the opportunity. The Texas Panhandle is unique. We sort of up in the desert. So we're lucky. We're the biggest apiary in the Panhandle. We're the biggest meadery in the Panhandle. So the environment has sort of helped us with that uniqueness being here. Number one, what we're doing is different. You know, to have honey, to have skincare from those beehives. So it's unique, it's different, and yeah, City Canyon, Amarillo, and really the whole Panhandle has really been behind us.